I think we're live. Hello, 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 everyone. We are live. It's your girl, Montique and Joy. Callie should be joining us in a minute. We are going to do Love and Marriage Huntsville. We think it's episode 4B, but everything else is saying it's 5. But it's called Marseille. It Ain't So. So, I'm going to let some people come in. I'm going to share it real quick, and then we will get into it.
Can we talk about that real quick? With
What?
the way that the season.
Yeah, talk about that. Mm-hmm.
So I heard that they own about 30 episodes for this season, and that they did 15, and then they took that long summer break, and then we would have 15 again. Where I read that, I can't even tell you if it was from something reputable at the earlier of the season or in a group. I don't know, but I know it was talked about the season. Well,
Right.
now we came back, and if you look on your DVRs, it's coming up at season 5, because we never had a reunion. There was never an ending in any kind of way. They kind of ended the season with people going to a retreat. So it wasn't even like a cliffhanger. It was just like they just ended it.
Yeah, because it said mid-season break
Right.
on all the stuff, and then there's Kelly, and then oh, she driving, honey, she cute. Okay, and then Mel did a live. Joy can't see him because she blocked, but we ain't gonna talk about it. Sorry, Joy. Saying that
Hmm. What I
season
miss?
4B, and they're gonna do the next 15 episodes in season 4B. So I list all of our stuff 4B. So, but the DVRs are saying season 5. Anyway, we have people here. Hi, Cecilia. Hi, Dawn. Hi, everybody's watching. Let's get into it, y'all. How would you rate this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville?
I'll say a 7. It was
All
pretty.
right, Callie, what would you say? And the people listening, what would you say, Callie? I think it's going to be one season had to be
I
hard.
I give it a 6.
All right. Hey, Antoinette, Angela, I give it a 6.5. I
Yeah.
feel like my first notes in red was the retreat is boring. We could have skipped the first 15 minutes. Now, I don't know if anybody else feels this way.
I do. It's a lot of filler stuff.
Okay. And I broke my stuff up into retreat, the hoax, and next time because I didn't know what all we wanted to talk about. Because I just felt like, what did y'all want to talk about the retreat at all? A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Do you
Lewis is
know?
he's quick to cry. It's kind of sweet, but kind of I don't know.
So, Lewis, are
Yeah.
you talking about Lewis? Do y'all believe
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
tears?
Oh, I believe him,
You believe his
but he is
tears?
really.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I think he is struggling. You don't believe it?
No,
What do you
I
think
don't
he's
believe.
struggling with?
I don't believe anything about them except
Oh
her
wow.
name is Tiffany and his name is Lewis. My husband that hardly for real watch reality TV. I know I talk about him in Huntsville a lot because
Yeah.
he ain't sitting down and watching with me, but
Look at Don. He is
he'll
a crier.
stand behind the couch for a while to know the character.
Lewis.
Even him saying, "He ain't serious, is he?"
But my
Like
thing,
they're weird. Like if they are hiding something, they are creating narratives. They not even on the same page about it. It is nothing
Yeah.
about them. I don't know what kind of interview they had. That wait a minute. This is a true story.
we gonna talk about that,
So
Dawn.
bad. They look so bad. It seemed like they paying to be on this show. That's how. That's just how out of whack they seem with the how the show is running. They don't fit nothing. What did
You
they
don't
do?
think they fit it at all?
What did they do to get this job? That's all I can think.
Because didn't they say that they tested a lot of people and everybody liked them? Did you
How?
hear
Like
that?
what did they
I think
try?
everybody liked them because they knew they would be easy to not like. So let's bring them on here and watch how crazy they are.
Oh,
That's what I
That they
think.
even interesting. Like of all the people, they dry as a bone. It's nothing about them. Like he he's a sex machine. She don't want to be bothered. I want a baby, but I want to work this career like crazy. Like
Listen,
they ain't even on the same page.
if I want to stand out in a crowd and there's a camera that I want to be on, I'm going to invite the most boring people to be around me. I'm just saying. Because
Oh,
So
that
you
way,
yeah,
think that?
hopefully,
So
yeah,
you
I
think
think it
they
was done
picked
on
them
purpose.
to
but
take?
she
Because
Yeah.
I
is
feel
looking.
like they
She is
invited them to
looking
this
better
retreat.
in her confessional. So if y'all pay attention to her confessional, she look good in her confessional.
Who,
Yeah,
Tiffany? She
yeah.
looks a lot better. I feel like Stormy should have been permanent too, and I hopefully Stormy will.
Yeah,
I don't know, want to replace them. Maybe they can be friends because I don't want to fire
right.
anybody. Everybody need a check, but I
Well,
just feel like But
he
do you
got a
think?
check and he got a check somewhere else. We ain't
Oh,
got to give him a
Joy!
check. They seem like they might be lovely people, but they are not entertaining at all. Like
Whitlow's were being picked
them,
on.
This is what I was gonna say.
Look at
I
Miss
felt
Gucci.
I feel like they were being picked on. I feel like they invited them to take the heat off of. I feel like the Scotts invited the Whitlows to take the heat off of their relationship, and also to kind of pick on them.
but don't nobody
Um,
care.
Joy, be nice to them. I don't know, y'all. Y'all so mean. Okay, so I said the retreat was boring. Should the Whitlows listen to Dr. Francis? Do you think he's only making assumptions?
Connecting. Okay.
No, I mean she was crying. Either she was acting
I'm
well,
jealous.
which is always a possibility in my head,
I can't hear y'all. Come back in, I guess, when I
or
can.
she
Can you hear
was
us now?
she was touching some
Yeah.
places. That's what brought on them tears.
To Lewis?
And her.
Yeah,
Remember
when she said, yeah,
even when he was talking about her,
her losing her losses.
yeah, her losses.
So I've already asked, do y'all think the Scots are teaming up or is it just me? Do y'all think they're teaming up against the Whitlows?
I don't think they're teaming up, but I do think they probably feel like I do that, that this excessive need to dog their marriage or to make him a cheater and all that is just excessive. And that more so maybe he woke up the second half of this season and acting like a husband, like he like his wife. He seemed so caring and attentive to her.
Right.
Y'all know this on here.
He
He
was so
touched her.
different.
He was just different. And yes,
Yeah.
her friend really did die in real life. You know, it could be a situation where this is really the real one. So, because I do think he does have an element of acting. It's funny to me, but he seems very supportive to her.
Yeah,
And
well,
Tiffany said, go ahead.
I think he's supportive, but and I believe that their a friend did die as well. But I wonder how many times did Tisha have to redo that scene? Because
Which
that
one?
there was not a serious tear or anything in her little head bowed down, almost like she was trying not to smile.
Oh,
Probably,
I
yeah.
think that she right.
And
They
Cindy
probably
and
had
Leslie
her do
are in
that
the
6 times.
waiting room. We're gonna let y'all in towards the end, so y'all don't leave. Stay in the waiting room.
Okay.
We're gonna
Yeah,
let y'all in.
that's possible.
Yeah,
That is
I
possible.
really think they had them do it multiple times, and that's why it seems so inauthentic.
Oh, this is a good thing with Joy's cover word. Marcel
What is
can
it?
learn from Lou how to cover his wife, and he's
Oh,
only supporting her now. So in private, he tells her, "Baby, I need this, I need that." But when they get into the group, he feels like she's kind of not being
I
attacked, but
hope
being
y'all
called too
get
cooperative.
this. Y'all get y'all, but if y'all ain't married, I'm telling you, it is nothing worse than a man who wants to feel covered. If he can't trust his wife, who? I mean, she clean his underwear.
But what if the wife can't trust her husband because he's putting his penis in other places?
That's a whole other subject we ain't even talk.
Wait, did you just say?
we kind of are talking about it. Yep, we
We
kind of
ain't
are talking
about
about it, Joy.
You just said a husband can't trust his wife, and I'm like, can you trust him? Okay, but anyway, we're gonna get
Yeah.
on Martell in a little while. Um, so Kimmy, do
But
you
hold on,
think
I'm sorry.
Kimmy?
Hold
Oh,
on,
I'm
just
sorry,
real
Kelly.
quick.
Go ahead.
Um, Joy. So if you think about it, I know we're not talking about Martell, but we are talking about Marcel. If he's cheating, Tisha is covering him very well. Or maybe
Yeah.
it's his NDA covering him well. Because we
Whatever.
have not seen or heard or felt or nothing but the rumors. No real hard, tangible
Yeah.
evidence. So
She's
somebody's
supposed.
covering him very well.
And wait a minute, we gonna hear about it because I don't be more believe that's the end of that cousin than the man inside of a moon.
Uh-huh.
You know, if we really are
Oh.
really gonna hear about it, because allegedly we would know what the thing was that she was dealing with. We still ain't heard about that.
Are they not gonna let Kiki come back? Did they
Yeah.
just say no to that? Is that done?
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
Kiki
where's
didn't want it.
Kiki?
Yeah. So Marcel, do y'all think Marcel is
That's
cheating?
this season. It's a lot of unresolved here. So
Yeah.
maybe we will get some of the time in the course of this season. But I mean,
But
And then
I
the
don't know
way
if
the
she's coming back
doctor
because they didn't even
said,
show her.
yeah, they didn't.
Yeah. What were
Um,
you saying, Kelly?
the way the doctor said that Tisha and Marcel seem to be on the same page this season, or when he's talking to them, I agree they do seem to be, but I really think it's because
Because they done wrote something in, they
what
gonna
we
be
put on
together.
camera.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I feel like that too.
we can fight and curse or whatever in our own home, but for TV, the doctor sees that they've definitely been.
Yeah, I agree with that. So do y'all think that Callie, you breaking up? I don't know if she can hear me. Callie, you're breaking up. So do y'all think that Kimmy is married to a selfish man?
no, I think Maurice trying to have something to say. I don't believe
Oh,
nothing, Maurice. Because Maurice don't say nothing. She wasn't lying about what the Mel was lying about Maurice, but he stay out of trouble. He's normally the logical one, and they don't have a situation that they can comment on somebody else, so they gotta comment on themselves.
Oh,
So
why
he's
he
just,
didn't call? Oh.
there she goes. Callie, can you hear me? I sent you a message letting you know you're breaking up. I don't know if you can hear us. Um,
Kimmy
I
got
don't think they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it 2-3 times a day.
no.
I just don't. Do you think that it's fair for Maurice to want this all the time, but not do what Kimmy needs by cleaning and helping around the house and things like that?
Of course it ain't right. I mean,
Okay, I didn't know what you was gonna say, Dr.
she
Joy.
had the best point ever when she said, in his mind, that's woman's work. Well, everything, then what does that say when I'm the only woman in the house? We got
Mm-hmm.
2 sons and a husband. That means everything is her on her.
You know what? Sis Carla is bad. I mean, Carla, I don't know
What is
about
going
what
on?
I can't read it, but I don't know if having 2 times a day will make you. I'm not. I don't know. I've done it before, and I would, but I couldn't do it every day like that. That's just I just and I like it. I just don't want to do it that often. It's just too much.
Well, they won't be
No.
dry. Now, I think I got cut off, so I might have missed. But they won't be dry if they use that KY, the warming kind. It's true. I'm just saying.
The KY yours and mine and ours. I don't know. That
Yeah,
is
that
true.
one.
Yeah.
It's warming. It feels. I'm just gonna shut up. But yeah.
How you know about this, Callie? Tell us later. Why y'all know after a certain age that sponge gets to dry? Well, how old is Kimmy?
50 something, but I mean, they got stuff for that.
So Angela, you don't want your husband to cook or clean. That was just telling Joy. When you sweep the floor and you clean up for me, that turns me on. That
Oh,
is
wait a
like,
minute.
come on,
I
let's
don't
do
want
it.
my husband to cook or clean
Yes,
nothing
I
in
am
my
so excited.
house.
No.
That's a turn off. Oh, that's interesting. That's a
That ain't
turn
no turn
off.
off at all.
That is a turn. So gender roles is a big thing for this season, and I think this episode too, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit. His mind has said about sex and marriage is immature. I feel like what you're saying, Joy, he does not have anything going on for him right now. So sex 2 times a day is getting him a little buzz. And
Right.
he finally got in the blogs one time. And so he's sticking with it. Okay. I'ma stick beside him.
Right.
Um People
Real.
make time for
That's
what
your
they have
man.
time for, period. So she can give him sex every day could be maybe an issue, but not multiple times every day. Sometimes you just can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that, but I know about the sex drive increases.
I
I don't
already
know about
know that happens.
I don't know about the weather, but I don't know that part.
A lot of it has to do with your estrogen level.
Yeah.
It varies person to person.
She got some time, but twice a day. Me and mine's been together for 40 years, and no, yeah, that's just a long time. If she could guarantee an orgasm every time, yeah, maybe so. Thank you, Dr. Leslie.
It's 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. And
So what else
that's
I got on the retreat?
if you lucky.
Anybody else want to talk about the Neanderthal? I know somebody wanted us to talk about how Maurice was thinking, and do y'all have anything else about that? Oh, this was for Martell. I gotta move that because we're gonna talk about that later. I said the wrong spot on my notes. Okay. Do you think Marceau and Tisha are being honest? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying this. She says that he said he does not make a decision without her ever. But where did he go on a vacation? I just answer. So are they being honest? So what did he do? Talk about it.
Maybe he would have. Maybe it was a situation if he had been more specific and said, "I don't make unilateral decisions," that are big things. Like I would never go and buy a house or a car or property without discussing it with her. If he probably doesn't see the Africa trip, which would be huge. I don't know. I can't even.
That's a big trip.
Yeah, I can't.
And you just don't go to Africa for a day or two either. I have a friend that she's in Africa now. She married a guy. Was like, I said, you should have put on 90-day fiance. But anyway, she didn't. But they actually got married, and she's over there visiting him now. She's gonna be gone like 3 weeks. Like you just don't go there for a week because it's a major thing to do.
It's expensive. It's just highly expensive to travel. Once you get there, I heard it's not that expensive. But once you just got to get there. That's where all your money is.
So, do y'all think Maurice is controlling? I mean, Marceau or Maurice or both? Or not?
I don't think either one of them are controlling.
You don't? All right.
I think Marceau, I think a lot, I told you, I think a lot of it was being put on for the camera. He just does his in a funny way. In my opinion, he almost looks at us and winks.
Like, do you believe that? Oh, not pimp slap. We're going to talk about Melody and Marlene in a minute. I think that's what everybody waiting for. So let me finish this. This retreat was so boring. And they still going to do it next week. I don't understand. I don't understand why they still there. I just don't know.
A lot to rent out this place last fall.
So this was a question I saw in the groups. How was it that the Scotts both got individual sessions, whereas the Whitlows had a round table with everyone able to chime in?
They may have had one, and they just didn't show it.
Okay.
I'm sure they did it. They just, look, the Whitlows, I think they don't feel authentic. I mean, if you think about what Kimmy was saying, that's literally what she was saying. But I'm saying, y'all over here faking this. And then a second that somebody brings something to the table that y'all presenting, she even broke down what you presented to this person and this. She doesn't feel authentic. So if they're feeling it and they watch it, they basically creating a storyline about it. I don't think how anybody watching this besides me can't see it.
So you think they fake it in a $3 bill?
I mean, nothing about them is real, but they both. Her name is Tiffany, and his name.
But that ain't her name. Remember, she was born with a different name.
Yeah,
so I'm just playing.
I'm just telling you. I don't believe nothing that they present. They're terrible at whatever storyline they're trying to create.
I know I don't believe he wants sex everywhere they go because he cannot have sex in that little car that they got. I was like, she lying.
Because even they are bringing them out to the table saying, well, you said X, Y, and Z to different people about this.
Yeah, that's true. They're performing for TV.
That's what it feels like.
But they're not doing a good performance then. Is that what y'all saying?
Literally. And they're botching it because they can't keep their stories together. That's how you know it's a lie. Like you can't even keep your stuff together.
You got to remember what you said. When you have a lie, when you lie a lot, you got to have a good memory. That's why I just tell the truth. And I still don't have a good memory. All right, so y'all ready? Y'all done with the retreat?
Yeah.
I was more than I thought. Oh, Lord, the retreat. All right, so let's get to the hopes and everything that everybody was up in uproars about. Um, Marlene and Mel.
She dressed up for that lunch, didn't
Honey, legs and
she?
hips
Yeah.
and body. Body.
I like Miss Marmalade. Every time I see her on camera, I like her more and more. Because people been down on her for the last couple of episodes. They were fussing at her when she had that episode with Martell in the car, and they're down on her now. And I just
Really?
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, they're mad because they feel like that she covers Martell, that she don't hold him accountable.
Mhm.
So if you go back, first of all, the text messages that Mel sent his mom, I think, is inappropriate. But
Okay.
she was
I
at
have it. Hold on. Let me find it.
yeah, she sent
That's
his
what it said.
text messages, and while it's true that Martell is a liar, she said
Mm-hmm.
you have upheld Martell for a very long time and not made him take responsibility. What does she want him to do? Do so she can put his nose in it? Since day one, been nothing but good to you and fair when it came to you. Y'all enjoy what y'all do. Don't text back because I'm blocking you. First of all, it's one
Okay.
thing to block Martell, which I think is immature, but there's another thing to block his mother. And I cannot be so angry with my ex-husband and my ex-mother-in-law to block them. And those are the two people that are gonna have my children when they're away from me. That's insane to me. I can't even fathom that type of motherly thought. Like,
To
even if
block.
I couldn't stand Martell, but when he was away from, when my children had him, there's no way I would have had him blocked. But certainly not him and his mother. Like, I just wouldn't do that. That's who
Oh
has
yeah,
it.
Joy. That's Joyce. That's Joyce's mother. And
It's
no,
not
that's
just
Joyce.
no,
What? Okay,
that's
Marcel's your brother.
insane.
That's
Y'all
Joyce's
not
mother.
dealing with this. That don't even make sense. I don't know a mother in the world that would not want direct contact with her children when they're away from her at all times.
So
Period.
listen, people who are watching, Martell is Joy's brother. Marlene is
He's
her
not
mother.
my actual
So,
brother. Not. But they
okay.
said brother because for a long time they was trying to say I like this man, which is furthest from the truth. He really does remind me of my baby brother. So
So yeah, not
I
really,
so
but in
there
her
really
heart.
is a yeah, and I can see things from his perspective. I might not agree with everything, but and that's another thing. We so used to seeing toxic mothers on reality TV. When we see one, Miss Marlene has cried on camera saying that she wished Martell didn't do this, that he was messing up her family. She was disappointed with him. She even said he acted just like his daddy. She's
Mm-hmm.
done all of the things that people think that she really should say. But what she not gonna do is every time she's on camera, make try to emasculate her own child. That's what she not gonna do
All
because the
right.
reality is she's already done all those things. Those children, those grandchildren is who she focused on. Both of their mothers, you could tell are good to those kids because when they see them, they both run to both sets of them grandmothers.
Yeah, they love
So
their
we know that
grandparents.
those are good grandmothers.
Okay, so this is my take on it. I feel like, well, let me do some of these questions. As a mother, she should encourage her son to do better and not try to help him. I don't know. Mama Holt owned it and acknowledged it, and I thought it was good, but knew her feelings were hurt. I don't know. I don't know. I have an issue with her gender roles and assigning labels on women. That's what I'm about to talk about that in a minute because they have an alternative path. Okay, so let me just say what I think. I feel like Marlene is saying it from her perspective when it comes to Mel being lazy. I don't think that Marlene had a husband. I don't think that she comes from the era where if you do have a husband, that your husband should cater to you like you cater to him. I feel like she came from the era where women did most of the work. But I have a question for her because she's like, my baby gonna be ran into the ground doing all this. Well, as a single mother, you did all of it and you lived and you were not ran into the ground. So your son is okay too. He can do some stuff too. So I just feel like she came from her perspective and she's not used to seeing husbands doing the things that Martell did for Mel. But I don't think Mel nor Martell are lazy. And that's just my thoughts on it. What do y'all think?
I'm going back to the very first. I challenge you all to watch the very first episode, the very first season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. What Mel was comfortable with showing the world on our very first introduction to the host was a Martell getting up three children, getting
Mm-hmm.
them dressed for school, doing their hair, brushing their hair, getting their breakfast ready, while Mel laid awake in her bed waiting on her tea. I ain't saying she lazy because, and she was even comfortable with saying that this was their morning routine. I ain't
Right.
saying she lazy because when I saw it, I didn't. You have to remember the first time I saw it. I just remember thinking, "Girl, what the world you do to train that dude but to do that?"
Right.
And then in the back of your head, think, well, she goes to work every day. She comes home. Maybe she's the one that does the dishes and gets dinner ready. So maybe he handles her in the morning and she hustles in the evening. I don't know. We didn't see a
Right.
whole day. All I'm saying, that's what she was comfortable with showing us. So it's not far fetched. It really isn't. To think that there Martell, who has said things to her face like, I've been the dominant parent. I need for you to step in. Now, all we could do is look at like, boss, she doing this, she on this up trajectory, and he need
Mm-hmm.
to do whatever. But the reality is, she wasn't doing these things, y'all, and she just wasn't. We could say it's because she been a boss all day at work and she booming businesses and speaking here. We could say that all day long. But when it came to the house, she wasn't boss. She prioritized.
So she was like, it was a role reversal. She was making the money and
It
he was at home.
was.
So that doesn't make her
I
lazy
don't think
then.
no,
Yeah.
but he wasn't though. Martell wasn't at home. Y'all keep
He
saying
was at
that.
Ariana's house.
No, no.
Well,
Y'all
okay.
keep saying you can try to talk over me. Ain't gonna take away the
I'm
fact.
asking questions. Where was he go?
One of the things is she ain't never built no house. He has. She
So
definitely
he
made.
put the bricks down and
She was the
everything.
pay. She may
Oh,
have been the brains. No, she was the brains. Nobody argues that. She held the license. She's the reason why business can open up on Monday morning. But let's be clear. He was the one that went on the sites. He was the one that if they needed something would drive to so and so to get it. He
and you
was
know
the
she
one,
wasn't doing the project management too.
but she wasn't.
How do you
That
know
was
that?
because they actually had an argument about it.
So how's
That
she teaching these classes about project management if she's never done it?
I is she doing it about project management or
Yeah,
how
she's doing about project management, preservation of the homes, all of that. She has a class where she teaches people this.
about project management? You can say
Uh-huh. And how to do project
that.
preservation, all of
But
that.
you get a certification. Why would you pay her to teach you that? You got to get a certification for that.
It's like a whole class, and that's part of the project. Part of it is her teaching all these elements of all of that.
I mean,
I don't know why people pay for it, but she
I
has
mean,
to know how to
you
do
have to get a
something.
certification to be a project manager. You just can't say I want to go. You actually you can get a degree in various things. You actually still have to get a project management certification. Is what
I
I'm.
don't know about that because I
I
don't
know
know.
about that.
Well, where I work, I don't think they
Yeah,
do.
how
Because
you
and
know
I work
about
in
that?
city government, and I've never seen a project management certification come across our desk. But that's okay. He was
But
in
I
their
mean,
house, and they so
that's
I never seen that.
yeah.
I saw like you have to have some type of insurance, and stuff like that, showing that you can cover if some damage is done and all of
Yeah.
that. But I've seen project managers who just have experience working on a site and then become the project manager. I can ask them. I've never seen a project manager certification. Um. Uh. Mel has to help Martell finish college, help him get a job as a teacher, help him start a business. Then, so I feel like I don't think neither one of them are lazy, but I know there's people who want
I
to say
don't
she
think
was.
either one of them. Look, just because a woman doesn't do a lot of housework at home or is
Yeah,
domestic, let me just say it like this: isn't very domestic. That doesn't make her lazy. Obviously, male business wise certainly wasn't lazy. She has a business acumen, but there are a lot of women that do spend a lot of time. They find more fulfillment career wise than they do home wise,
Okay.
domestically. That's all I'm saying. Don't make you bad people. It's just there are people
Right.
I know people that get fulfillment at their jobs.
Well, I know Callie took her test, so I wish she was on her class. I wish she was on here to let y'all know what all she learned. And on her Instagram, she has stuff with the students she's taught, the jobs that they're getting now, and all of that. So she seems to know something. I'm
I'm
not
not
saying she
arguing.
didn't do anything,
I'm
but
not
she's
saying
done
that
some
she
of it.
does. I'm just saying. I just think she was the brains behind those things. Obviously, she was. So she probably does know a lot of things that she can
Yeah.
share with people to get people in the field. I mean, hands down, I'm sure she does. But all I'm saying is, it wasn't like Martell was at home with the baby over his shoulder. He did a lot of the field
So who
work.
was doing that then? The mama? Who was watching the kids then?
I was assuming they had a babysitter, unless she and
Oh.
she could have bought them to work. It could have been a situation where she bought them to work. I don't really know.
So
But
while Martell was on the sites, what was Mel doing in your mind?
she did a lot of things administratively. There's
So
always
she was at work in the office or something at least.
yeah, she was.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what do you think? The brains and the bronze. The bronze can't work without the brains.
But so you really think Martell dug dirt and all that and built the houses and
I
stuff?
don't. I don't. I think he could. I mean, we actually saw him on a site as a project because he wasn't a. I think that he was a project manager, and he really was physically doing things. I think. I mean, whether or not he does this all the time, that argument that they had where they came to that one site, he was actually doing something.
For the camera or for the whole day?
I have no idea.
Okay. All right. So anyway, she said I worked as a project manager
Yeah, I
for
noticed
3
that they're
different
now in
telecom.
the house.
Martell isn't the brains. Mel is Martell. He ain't even the voice because he can't even do a whole sentence. Him and Sheree don't need to go into business together because she can't talk and he can't
Did
either.
y'all not hear me? I said Mel was the brain and he was the brawn.
Yeah,
I never said that he was the brain.
That he was the
He
voice,
said
and
that
yeah,
Mel was the brain. That's what I said.
I guess he was
No, he
cheating
was
on
the
him after
brawn.
that.
He was the one.
How was he doing everything and he was busy cheating? Make it make sense. I mean, I don't know who was with the
I
kids when
mean,
he was cheating.
he was going to the gym. When he was
Oh,
going to the gym,
we
remember?
forgot. That's what he was doing.
And it didn't matter. Mel was at home asleep. It didn't matter.
He was asleep, and who was
Mel
watching
was
the
at home
children?
asleep.
So the children was watching
They was
themselves.
asleep.
I just cannot see a man
Yes.
having 4 kids with a lady that he deems lazy. And if so, that's his fault. And I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that.
I have seen men in situations in more than one marriage. I ain't gonna tell y'all how. Where one man is far more domestic in one situation than he is in the other.
Mm-hmm. It just depends on the
Men do what
circumstance.
needs to,
Yeah.
and men do, and I do believe that there is a part of Martell. I really do believe this. There is a part of Martell that really wants to be a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he just can't be that good guy for very long. He's just a person that can get preoccupied really quickly.
He's got little demons, not demons, but little vices. We all have a vice.
Yeah.
Mine is ice cream.
And
we all have
I think
one.
Ariana is a vice of his. I don't think he is a serial cheater though. But I think that once he's unsatisfied, he ain't gonna tell you 50 times, but he gonna tell you once or twice. And so, you can ignore him if you want to. Look, you can ignore him if you want to.
So Ariana doesn't satisfy him anymore because he done with her. He is not the brains. He cheated daily. He prided himself on being home on time. That's another argument they had. So somebody wrote this. I did not, but they said Mama Hope is the same. Go ahead.
I don't think she was paying them any attention now. I just don't. Y'all might.
Oh, you don't think? Well, after you get, I'm gonna say this, and this is just for me as a woman. After, if I got cheated on, I just can't find you sex anymore. You gave away, and I'm only child too, so this could be me. You gave away what was mine That was mine. And you put it somewhere else. I don't even want to smell it. Okay? I don't want to see it anymore. She should have left, or he should have left in both instances, in my opinion.
She should
Because they
have.
couldn't get
You're
over it.
right.
They couldn't get over it.
Okay.
So nobody's, not without fault in this, because she could have left and he could have left. Both of them could have. So what do you think about, somebody said this, I did not. Mama Holt is the same woman who plays Mel's song about her son cheating to those children. She didn't apologize then when Martell addressed it. So why do you think she would apologize to Mel for saying she was lazy? What do y'all think about that? Did she do that?
She helped. Yeah, did y'all? Um, yeah, she did do that. I think Mama. I think when Mel went in that conversation with her mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, I think she thought that conversation was going to be different. I'm be honest. I think she thought she was going to manipulate her into trying to keep the peace and apologize to her, and it didn't go the way she
And I don't
planned.
think I don't think the mama
And
should
I
have.
just think that I just couldn't imagine blocking my mother-in-law unless my mother-in-law had called me and cussed me out. Like, it ain't even like she responded. Y'all noticed the mother didn't respond.
Well, she couldn't. She was blocked.
Right, but my point is, she would have had to do something like that to me for me to block her. Like, that was insane to me that she
Oh,
would just
Sandy says
block
she
her because
has
she.
blocked her mother-in-law. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm gonna let y'all in about 5 more minutes. I have a few more questions. Marlene was drunk. I don't think she seemed drunk. That's why she imagined Martell doing the work in the house. Marlene needs to slow down the drinking. I mean, I do feel like Martell was a good husband in the fact and a father that he helped around the house. Some men don't do that. So I'm gonna give Martell that. He did help around the house. So a lot of people have blocked their ex-mother-in-laws. I don't know, Sandy.
Again, but your ex mother-in-law would have had to cuss you out. Miss Marlene, the only thing she said, what did she say that was so damaging
She said
that
that she
make
was
you
gonna
block
kill
her?
you. She was just sitting there saying, Martell do this, Martell do that. She was gonna put you in the ground.
It was true
And
though.
no, it's not
I saw that.
that's not, but she wasn't gonna go into the ground. He wasn't gonna die. She wasn't working him. Marlene was a single mama doing everything by herself. Did she die?
Well,
Was she put to the
that
ground?
was hyperbole, of course.
Well, that's what
I
Mel
mean,
did not like.
that's hyperbole.
But people didn't take it that way.
The
You know these
hyperbole, of
you
course.
know these love and marriage people believe that it's word for word the truth. Everything's the truth to them. So, but
That's
yeah.
stupid.
But
That's
you know
to
they
me, that's
do.
just immature, and a lot of that has to do with. I think Melanie projects so much of her insecurities out on other people because this is all about her being a bad mother. This is still
Mm-hmm.
connected to she don't want to be associated with being a bad mother, a bad wife. This is she projects too much. Boo, nobody would have even picked that up. Nobody even remember that conversation that you and Baba Hope had.
And
Or
I
paid it
think
much
that,
attention even when she said
and I do think that's just a mother
nobody
taking up for
thought it
their
was
son.
anything more than a mother protecting her son. Right.
Yeah,
We said
yeah.
that at the
That's
same
what I would have
time.
thought it is. And another thing, I do feel
Yeah, but
like
she brought it back
Mel
up.
found,
She projects her own
yeah, because I
insecurities.
wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have had a conversation with her about it. I would not have cared. But that's just
Yeah.
me. But somebody in here says
Nor would
Scorpios
I
do
have
that.
blocked somebody.
Now I'll block somebody in a minute, but I don't know if I block my mother-in-law. But I will. If you're not, and I just came from a conference and they was talking about how you just don't let people who hurt you or who cause you distress to stay in your life. If you got to block them for a minute, block them for a minute. Then when you feel a little better, unblock them because you don't need that stress in your life if you're going through something. I understand that,
That's
but
not true. No, Leilani. Is that
hold on.
Neilani?
At the
That's
Latoya, they said
pretty.
Maurice's office is used for parties.
Neilani.
No, that was a hotel. I thought, or apartment.
Not that. That was that apartment that we kept hearing
Yeah,
about.
I didn't even know I
That
was
was
on
that
that one.
apartment. So that you remember when they were having that argument about the apartment that Tisha and Marceau was having? That's
Mm-hmm.
the apartment. Somebody was arrested. It was one of
Mm-hmm.
their friends about messing with an underage girl, but their case was also thrown out too. That case
For
was
one,
thrown out. You can Google that. I
yeah,
can't
it was an
remember
apartment.
whoever the friend was. He was on an episode, but it wasn't like those other guys that we've seen repetitively. He was just on that episode, and I want to say it was the episode when they went camping during the first or the second season when they went to Tennessee for the first time. It was when he and Mel was still together. I want to say that's when Mel told him she was pregnant with Sugar
Yeah,
Mama.
I don't know. And another thing with Marlene that I had in my notes was, so say the tables were turned and Martell was sitting on the couch and Mel was like, and he was like, Mel do this, Mel do that, Mel do this, Mel do that. When
Yeah.
Marlene felt like she was to the ground, but she felt like that she was running, he was running her Mel around. I think it's just
She
gender
probably,
roles.
but she could have said, "Son, you can get up and help her." Now, when she had told us about it, maybe not. But I could have seen him saying if he felt like he was running her to the ground, I think she is the type that would have said to his face, "You know, you can't get up and help her, right?"
But she should have said that to
Or
Mel. I feel like they had the relationship where she should have
she
said
never
Mel.
see Mel do nothing. Mel don't do nothing. I don't been
In
with
her eyes,
Mel.
that's why I said it's
Mel
her
was busy.
perception. I think it's her
Yeah,
perception.
Mel was busy. I
Yeah.
think Mel has been busy, y'all. All
Hmm.
this, oh, she's booked and busy, and that girl is going, and she keep on going. Mel has had this determination and this drive that we see in her. This isn't new. I think he been dealing with this for a while, and I'm not saying that's the reason that he is having this affair, but I think Mel has been preoccupied with being a star for a minute. I just believe that.
Not Martell got on tank for the necklace because he didn't want to be reminded of his bank robbing days.
First of
Liloni,
all,
is that how you
I,
say your name? You is bad, okay?
he
Y'all
did
ain't
not
right in this
rob
group.
no bank. He did not,
Oh Lord. Okay, so what else I got?
and
So
no charges have ever been filed against him regarding robbing the bank.
she's covering her brother, okay? Covering her brother. But there were no charges. Do I have any other thing else about Mama Hope? I'm gonna say this. I love their conversation. I love that they decided to agree to disagree. I'm happy that Mel did not argue with her. Like because Mel can
I'm
argue with you. And she did do her little, the things that people do on reality TV. Yeah, did because I feel like Nene and King, all of them do it. Mel does it a lot. But oh yeah, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do this. She did try to do that. Marlene was like, girl, stop. Like it was just, we just gonna agree to disagree. I
and
like
she
that.
kept
People were
10 toes
mad.
down. Once she 10 toes down, baby, she said
I like
I
it.
think he was a man, and I'm stick with. I said what I said. She
I love
only
it.
said what needed. I
Oh, I
said what
said,
I said.
but people were mad at her for, and I was not mad at her for that. I felt like it was two grown women having a conversation, and you see it one way, I see it another way. I ain't gonna change my mind. You ain't gonna change yours. Let's eat this food. Another thing people thought was funny was like, baby, you
Right.
don't have to unblock me. Okay, so what did you get from that, Joy?
Ooh. She was like, it don't. I've been blocked for a year. It ain't even matter. Don't block me.
Right.
Don't unblock me now.
I mean, first of all, Marlene is probably our parents' age. They don't care about being blocked. They don't care about that. She like, come
Miss
see me.
Marlene probably didn't even know about. Listen, he
She
probably didn't even know about that text message.
didn't even.
Somebody probably had to call her and tell her.
I was like, Mel, this ain't your girlfriend. This is your mother-in-law who don't care. She rather you come over,
My
like she
mama
said.
text like that. I could text my mama and like a month later she'll text me back. I was like, Mama, that was a month ago. Pick up your
My sister
phone,
logged me
boy.
in. You're
Miss
right.
Marlene checking her.
He was given PTI, which clears your record. What's PTI? And for any wrongdoings after you do community service. So stop it. So listen, y'all leave her brother alone.
Girl, you do not. You really think you get community service for robbing a bank? You could not
You
truly
leave her
think
brother
you
alone,
get
Joy.
community service for being an accessory to robbing a bank. And no, he didn't get no not CT. Even if you believe that, all you have to do is Google. I can wash it away. Google the night. It tells you specifically what New Year's Eve it was. Because it was on New Year's Eve.
We
and
know what
then
happened.
go back and look what year. Wait a minute, and then go and Google the year.
Mm.
Go on Alabama teacher certification. Thing is free. Put in his name. You can see what year he became a teacher. He couldn't have gotten that certification, and the window is too close. It's only like a 3 or 4 year window. Even if you believe that, you may have to be 6 years before you could even apply for such a thing.
What is PTI?
It ain't. It's probably like a where people who commit crimes, once you've gone so many years without committing a crime, you can
Oh, okay. I
apply
just
to
know that's
basically have it
okay.
removed from your record.
I didn't know it's called PTI. Okay.
And it
Yeah,
varies
Joy.
from state to state. So yeah, here
She said, I didn't know he
it
was
has
charged
to
because
be
when
like
we look
many
at the police
years.
report, he was in the car. We ain't gonna
He
get on this.
wasn't charged.
He
They
was.
made
Go ahead.
he did get arrested. He
Yeah.
did get arrested, but they couldn't figure out what to charge him to because they couldn't link him. He was in a car with somebody else. I think
He was in the
the
car.
uncle. They couldn't
Pre-trial interview.
find how they linked the two. All they just happened to do is just be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Nobody ever got in their car. Nobody ever ran toward their car. They was just
Right.
sitting in the car. Now, it may not take a genius for us to have this conversation that they probably was a getaway car or
Tori, can you
a
find this
backup
police
getaway
report?
car.
Yes,
I
he was
sent that
arrested.
to y'all a couple times.
Yeah,
Did
we've
y'all
seen
see
that.
it?
We talked about it so many times. I don't know why we keep talking about this same thing, but we
Yeah, he
will.
had burglar tools
We
and stuff
talked about this.
in their car, but yeah,
Wait a
yeah,
minute, Carla. He did it, damn it. Next. Yes, Carla. Thank you. Carla.
yeah. I'm not arguing to say he did. I'm not arguing trying to like he wasn't there. I'm not. But they couldn't figure out a way to connect them. So neither one of them two were ever charged. And if they were charged, they dropped them.
Right.
Because and them
They
other
just said
two
something.
actually went to jail.
They did. Yeah,
Somebody
I
went
think
to
that's the
jail
uncle
for
who
that
got
crime.
mad. And we this is allegedly, I'm not 100% sure. But that's the one who got mad at the wine when he didn't mention the mother enough. I heard that was the uncle. But I'm not 100% sure if that's true or not. That was in the mess with Martell.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, so we're
We
about to let
looked
y'all
up
in.
his name
I don't remember his name.
because all their names is in that article. You can Google it. You can literally Google it. But they're if they like I said, if they have to and your arrest when you're getting your teacher's license, they don't ask. They ask, have you been?
Uncle Sam.
They do
Okay, that's
ask
his
you,
name.
have you ever been charged? Yeah,
That's
Uncle
his name,
Sam. It
Uncle
is
Sam.
Uncle Sam.
Yeah, I
They
think
do
that's the
ask you,
uncle.
have you been charged with
Or offered.
and
I've heard of deferred
convicted? It's two
adjudication.
separate
Yeah.
questions on the teacher's license.
Thank you, Don.
And
But she would defend to the end. Joy,
when
quit
they
defending your
drop
man.
charges, wait a minute. Listen, when they drop charges, you don't have to put that on your teacher's license.
Oh, you done when it's expunged or dropped or whatever? Yeah, I wouldn't think you would have to.
Not when it's expunged. I'll give you an example. I know for a fact that because I know somebody who just experienced this. Somebody could call DFS on somebody, and DFS investigates. If they deem that person unresponsible or meaning that person innocent, you don't have to mention that on your teacher's license. You
Oh,
only have to do it when it's permanently on your
that's my flower so crazy.
because anybody could be
Oh, well.
arrested. Anybody could be arrested. That don't mean that you've actually done.
Well, I don't want to be arrested. Okay, y'all, let's keep on going because we're finna let people in 5 minutes. So, Joy, what do you think about Marlene and Martell's conversation after she met with Mel? She changed outfits. Marlene had all the clothes this episode because it was the same day. And honey, she had on her red dress like what's her name, Pretty Woman, and then she put on this little dinner thing, looking like legs, hips, and body
Did
walking
she
down
have
the
on
stairs.
stockings and yeah.
So what do you think about their conversation? Because she did say, I met with Mel. It was nice. And she said that we're going to have to let her heal. People heal in their own time.
I like Martell kept saying, oh, she turning positive.
Mm-hmm.
So I do say this now. I can see how and why they decided to not get back together, but now that they can meet in the same room because both of them are seeing an improvement of the other. She
Yes.
thought it was nice of him to bring the kids to her event, and now he's saying, "Oh, you invited my mom out, and you
You
was
made up with
nice to
my
my mama.
mom.
Okay, that's the beginning of something new." So yeah, I can see how they linked up again. And what's crazy is they make one heck of a team together. If they only
So
could have got it together, these two could
I
have ruled the
know.
world. Like for
They
real,
was a beautiful couple.
they're awesome
Oh,
together. They're
oh
awesome.
God, I
They
hate
are
it.
dynamic
If they
together
were
on
still
TV.
together, this show would be still in the millions. I'm telling you, of viewers. It's
It
it's
would
going
be
down.
off the
Um,
charts because they even how they tag it can be all fake, but they do it so well. They do it. They are the epitome of what a power couple should look like.
yeah, they should have done it.
He gonna be, and I'll say this about both of them, on him and her. You're gonna be searching your whole life for a woman that tag teams you like that, and
Hmm.
vice
They
versa.
was a dynamic
They
duo.
just couldn't get it together.
I hate that, and they could because they were so young and they did everything kind of young, and it could happen. So what? So whose house were they in? Is that his house? Somebody said it looked like the house they had in season one or
Oh, that's
two.
why I said they moved. So I remember that woman that we still ain't seen yet, that Candy was talking about on her show, on her Speak It Up about Martell, was
Mm-hmm.
in that house. I bet you that's the house that
You
they
think that's the
filmed
house?
in.
So that's not
Yep.
them. That's why he didn't own that house with Melody. Then
No,
somebody's like that was their first.
no,
Okay, I didn't remember it. All I could
no,
know
they're
when he
real
was flipping
house. That
when he was
girl
flipping
did a
those papers, I
video.
said Martell's flipping papers like he can read and spell. You know what I mean? Because he was in there looking at the papers. I said, no wonder he's
He's so
having issues. His non-spelling self trying to understand his business. Y'all know he shouldn't have been in there trying to act like he was looking at some business reports. Joy,
y'all so mean.
do you think he was really looking at business reports?
I don't
Joy,
know.
be
He was
honest.
showing pretending like he was. He was showing pretending like he was.
Somebody said he lives with Marlene. That doesn't look like her house. She has a one-level house, right?
I don't know where he lived. We know he was renting their house, but I thought he had was living in a condo because remember when Destiny came over his house and
Mm-hmm.
they spoke? That looked like a condo.
Oh, and I do
It
want to
looked
talk
like
about that
I could.
before we let people in. On the next week, it looks like Kimmy is running back to two people who Mel don't even like to tell what's going on with Mel and Martell. And then Destiny's running to Martell to tell what's happening. And I just don't know why they're taking on these roles. It's kind of, I mean, I don't know. I
It
know it's,
seems like it's out of character. It seems like it's
yes,
out of it.
at least for
But I think
Kimmy. Now, Destiny, she ain't got nothing else
but
to
Kim's
do. She won't talk
been
about
a
her
ball
own life.
collector all season. She's been a ball collector
Kimmy, I
all this
told y'all
season.
she was going to be.
Yeah, Kim be trying to stake her. She need this little extra income. She to quit her nursing
She done
job.
quit her nursing job. Somebody
Yeah,
said Martell wasn't reading no reports. Yeah, he wouldn't. Okay, so we got Sandy. You have two things up. I don't know which one you want me to do. Dr. Leslie, are you there?
Yes.
How are you?
Fine. How are you?
We're good. So, what do you want to say about the episode? Just say
Uh,
what you like.
to be honest with you, I thought it was boring, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with most things, but Dr. Joy, I'm sorry, I disagree with you about Martell on everything. But no,
whatever.
seriously, I think you. I wanted to say what you were talking about too, about them being the power couple and how the show would be so much better even if they faked it. And I think instead of them reconciling for other reasons, I think that's the reason they're reconciling, to stay on the show, or I should say, to make the show more relevant too.
Mm-hmm.
Girl,
You
they done
know.
fell out already.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they may have stayed together for the end of rapping, but I
right.
mean, it like the next week. they was fighting. You know,
That's
we
how you
just
know
saw
it was.
them in the Instagram war a couple of weeks ago.
But
Oh my
that burns
gosh.
it then for me because, like, being a divorcee, there ain't no reconciling when you done after somebody
Yes.
did that. So that's why I'm speaking the way I am, in the sense that what he did to her and the family, to me, and she's getting together what she can for the kids. To me, the reconciliation is for that check for the show, even if it's just for him.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people were upset that the Scots were having so much time, and they felt like they didn't want to hear about the not the hillbillies of wherever they from, but they was saying it was like the Beverly Hillbillies and all that.
Yeah.
They were from the family.
Yeah.
From Bessemer, yeah. And so Carlos wanted, because Mel was doing a vacation and she did a thing on this, and she said Carlos was like, "What do you think about inviting Martell?" And she said they didn't pressure her, but she did it. She said it was the first one that here's the family of Bessemer. But
Is
anyway,
that
it was yeah.
where they Tank took their
You
video?
want some
Uh-huh.
rice?
Yeah.
Hey
Tammy,
guys,
what do you want to say about everything? I want to
I'm
invite Sandy, but she got too many things in. It's echoing.
okay. So I agree with y'all about them being the ultimate power couple. I wish all of that foolishness hadn't happened because the show is truly it's not what it could be. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
say it was boring. It was not. It just wasn't catching. I mean, it wasn't boring. I guess because we're looking at the dynamics, even though the Whitlows are fake. We were still looking at the dynamics of their marriages, and you could see through Letitia and Marceau's I think you could see through their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you could see they're performing. They're presenting a united front. They don't want to let everybody in, because of all the accusations possibly. But I think that if Mel and Martell had to stay together, like you said, the views would have continued to be in the millions.
Yeah,
I agree.
they were dynamic on camera. Like there wasn't a whatever they were feeling, you felt it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you felt it. Like it felt so real, and it was nice to see. I
they
just
were
wish that
very
they had.
transparent with their relationship.
And they
Yes,
were
they were
really
very
going through it
transparent.
then. Remember that too. The whole um infidelity and stuff, that was the height of it, because that's why the arguments were so genuine, or the little
Yeah,
spats and those side eyes that Melly used to give them. That now we understand where that was coming from,
Mm-hmm.
about the
Yeah,
infidelity.
but they were giving us that, right? And that was the beauty of it. And that's what
Yes,
the other couples are lacking though, right?
yes,
So
I
because
yeah,
agree.
they're not being transparent like they were,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we knew, we could feel it. The passion, the frustration, the anger, everything they were going through, we saw it, right? And we
yeah,
were living it with them. But the other couples are not doing any of that. They are,
yeah.
again, they're all faking
They're
to me,
performing. Mm-hmm.
and performing and acting and all of that.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
But what do you think about
Yeah,
the conversation with Marlene and what's her
Melanie.
Mel? Let's say I can think of her name.
I mean, I loved
It is.
Marlene standing on her words, right? I said it, that's it. We're not gonna keep talking about it, right? I like that part.
Grown up.
But I just don't like her mentality in terms of the gender roles,
Yeah.
right? Like
Okay.
we just need to admit that Martell was the house husband. It's okay. He was the house husband. That's okay. And when we have that argument, or everyone has that argument, well, he was taking care of the kids. We've seen it in the first episode. She wasn't the dominant parent. All those arguments, all of that may be true, but you can't say like he was the dominant parent and she wasn't. So, and he was doing all this, like Miss Marlene said about him, her running him into the ground. How would he have time to cheat if all of that was going on? If he was working and taking care of the household and taking care of them doggone kids, when did Arion fit in the picture? Because I can't
Exactly.
do that. I'm
I mean,
sorry. I take care of the
he
kid, the
that
household, go
really
to work. I don't
it
have that time.
really look, Tammy, it really was a conversation of him saying that, and I was at home every night. So while you sitting up here saying that he wasn't,
But
he
that's every
really was.
night. We're talking about during the day when he's supposed to be cooking, cleaning,
That part.
ironing,
That
Wash
part.
the
Nothing coming
clothes.
in at 1 in the
Hey,
morning.
but
That
see,
doesn't mean
here's the
anything.
difference. You all are thinking that he's trying to say that he was a house husband. I never said that.
No,
And nobody, I
Marlene
don't think
did.
anybody ever, I don't think she does. I think that their issue is when they all get home and they all together and everybody at home. Martell wasn't sniffing out into the streets while everybody was at home. He was being what a husband is supposed to be. But he was doing a lot more than it appears than she was.
Well, you must have
Okay,
been a
but
fly on the
again,
wall, cause
what does I guess right? My thing is okay, and that all may be true when it comes to the kids, right? That all may be true. He was doing a lot more again than she, but at some point, if he was, because you said your point, he went home every night. Great, like Montika said. Well, where was he in the daytime? So who was with them kids then? So you can't really just because you might have saw one scene where
They were at
he was doing
daycare,
things in the
but they
morning
were at
for the
either
kids.
at
That don't mean he was doing it
but
all
I'm
day.
assuming they were at daycare because they weren't with Mel either.
But our
I'm
point is,
assuming that at some point, I assume at some point those kids went to daycare because they were legitimately running the business. I do think that Mel handled a lot of the administrative work, and and I'm sure she did it well. But I do think that Martell handled the field work. I think that they worked really good as a team. I don't think at work they one was outdoing the other. I think both were as equally as important. Somebody had to handle paperwork and somebody had to be out
And
in the
I think
field.
they were equally
I,
important at home too, is my point. My point is you can't discount
I
one
that
and the
is
other.
why
I'm saying that just because we
I
saw one
definitely
scene in the morning where he was doing the kids' hair and getting them ready for school, that does not mean that
it
he was
wasn't
doing it
just
all
one
day
scene.
long.
I say
but
that because of an argument that they had later on. The year that right before they broke up, one of his arguments was because I had never heard a grown man actually use the term, which I thought was a way of what it would kick me in my stomach. Dominant parent. I'd never heard an adult male
because he
use that
wasn't
term
working,
before.
Joy. He
And
was mad
he
because she
said,
took the play. He was mad because she was having all these speaking
right,
engagements and he wasn't invited. So
yeah,
to make her feel smaller, because he was feeling down because he wasn't invited to all this and doing all this stuff, he was like, "Oh, now I'm at home. I'm a dominant parent. You're not taking me
hmm
with you all the time," just like Joe did with Melissa on
that's
New
not what
Jersey.
he
We
said.
talked
You
about
just
that.
added
Well,
an
you saying
element in
Leslie?
there to try to make it
Can I
sound
say
pathetic.
one thing
but
and
can I,
leave?
Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead, Tori. Go,
To make
Tori.
it sound pathetic.
Tori, you can talk. Go ahead. Tori. I don't know if she can hear me. Go, Leslie. I don't think she can hear me.
I was just saying, to be honest with you, only people that know went on in that house with them two. Nobody has the right to talk about who's dominant or not, whether his
Oh,
mother
we
or
got the
anybody
right.
else. No, but
We
I'm just
might not
saying.
like it, but we
I'm
got the
just saying
right.
we don't really know. But the point is,
Of course
too,
not.
I remember that in that season, Melanie said she made him do that as a response to his infidelity. She was no longer gonna be not. She was gonna chase her dream now. She was not gonna be in the house anymore, and that's why he was doing that. I remember there was a scene where she says that because he did that, she was making sure he took care of his weight in the house. And to me, that makes sense to me if you look at the dynamics of their relationship and like
Well,
how
you
she's a
remember
go
something
getter
I
for her
don't
stardom.
because
She was
that's
like,
not what
I'm
she
doing it
presented.
now.
Go, Les.
Huh?
Hey, guys. Hello,
Hi.
everybody. Because you're absolutely right, Les. I mean, the fact remains that she enacted a punishment to make it, since he would
Right.
find, he's been doing this for years. And
Mm-hmm.
so she
I'm gonna make you
tried to make
mad
him
because
be
I'm
a
mad at
house
you.
husband
Okay.
too. So he had duties to keep him busy. She figured it would keep him busy, but
Mm-hmm.
Montel would do his business during the day with Ariana. Okay, so that wasn't helpful. The children, for the most part, were of school age. So it wasn't that he knew between 9 and 3 was his window of opportunity. If he was going to do something, that's when he had to have it done. And he did. He took it full advantage. But see, Mel is a very smart person. You got to realize she was entangled with a lot of businesses with this man, and she was not going to cut off her nose to despite her face. She just slowly extracted herself from all these contracts. She's also involved in this property preservation. She teaches class every Monday night. And so this has been going on for 7 years. I'm gonna get myself positioned, okay, where I have a bag of my own. Okay, let me get myself out of this entanglement. They think I'm not doing anything, but she was on her game, and when she said to them, they wanted her with the comeback group to sign on again, she wasn't having it.
No, no.
Like, dissolved, okay? So she was handling you. You have to realize Mel is a business person. She doesn't look at what's just immediately in front of her. She looks down the road to see what else is affected. You can't just jump out and say, I'm done with you know, because she's not going to hurt her own self. So she did what she had to do. I'm extremely proud of Mel. You go, Mel. You hold up your head
We
and
had
keep
always said that we thought that it was her out. Like she
mm-hmm,
came in and this is going to be her out. She made sure she was able to leave.
mm-hmm.
So anything
Like
else,
I
Leslie, y'all got to
started
say?
his show to make sure she left him. Like you do kind of get that feeling if you watch the show over again, knowing all what we know now. If you go back and watch the show, you wonder like this was her plan the whole time. She talking about, especially knowing that she had asked the old crew not to mention her infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't understand, like in one of the first confessionals after Mel had made the conversation about respectable cheating, Maurice and Kimmy both did this in the camera, like, what? And if you were watching, you were like, why did she do that? Like it didn't make sense at that time. But
No,
now
but
that you go back and rewatch it, you'll be like, oh, they're doing that because they weren't supposed to talk about the infidelity. And here they are talking about the infidelity. And they weren't supposed to. And which is why now you got Tisha. I'm not explaining her, but now she's coming off hard and aggressive about the infidelity because they weren't supposed to talk about it. They had asked them not to. That's why they were so surprised when they brought it up. And according to Carlos himself, in their special a couple
Mm-hmm.
seasons ago at the end, he said that was their first day of filming, and he had because what allegedly, according to him, Mel called him on the phone to tell him that they got a deal with OWN, and Mel said she found out that Martell was cheating again and that
Again.
she had left.
So
So
they came
she
back together for the show.
told, so they got back together. They were separated.
hmm
So
And
they
that's when
got
she
back
probably
together
did
for
the
the show.
that's why when you
So
see him with the
when they had
kids,
made that first episode, so when you go back and look at the first episode and all that scene that I talked about with him doing everything and her sitting in the bed for
that's
tea,
why.
that's
you
He
why.
was
can't
happy
say
to be
that.
back home,
That's what
Joy.
I was
Right.
He
thinking.
was
That's why
happy
he
to be
That's
back
acted
what
the
I was
home,
way.
thinking.
Joy.
Yes.
That
It
I'm
wasn't like it
telling
was,
you,
yeah.
look,
Yeah.
She was telling
huh?
him the only way you got to take care of
So
them
when they
kids.
got back together, yeah. So when you go back and rewatch it, it does look like this was the plan from day one that
Yeah.
Mel wanted to get from up under him. The only hitch is that she got pregnant.
Mhm.
She actually got pregnant
Maybe.
because she got
hmm
because and that was a whole conversation that we didn't want to talk about before.
But I think another
But
thing,
she
I
got
think when that
pregnant.
she did get
That's the
pregnant, though,
only
Joy,
hitch in that plan.
I do think that when they did,
Huh?
she did think that they were going to try again. Like
Yeah.
he had promised he wasn't going to cheat anymore.
Right.
He vowed his love to her in that doctor's office.
hmm
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. He was giving her flowers. Like he was, and he still did it again.
hmm
Hmm.
hmm
You know what I mean? So,
And had a
I
I
baby.
ain't saying he did. I'm just
yeah.
I can't defend it. I'm just saying it looks like it appears to be. when you go back and rewatch it, it's just so much that we didn't know then that we
Uh-huh.
know now. You just be blown away. It's almost like watching a whole new show. You'll be talking to the TV all through these episodes, or the fact that when Maurice and Marceau was sitting around with Martell in front of that field, and
Yeah,
he was like,
with the
you know
phone.
her?
And they knew
They
it
knew
all
her.
along.
They
They
Hmm.
went to the
knew her.
trip and she was there.
Yeah,
That's
they
why when he
knew
That's
her.
showed the second
crazy.
phone, they went, Didn't you learn?
You
You got
got a
another
second phone?
phone?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that we understand that, now y'all know why Martell was so mad
Yeah.
second season.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah,
first
that's
of all, they hadn't seen the show until it aired. And now that they watching the air, he was like, y'all made me. That's why he was so
oh
pissed.
Lord.
That's why he started off with the 20 women. That
And
was
that
in retaliation. I believe it was all in
Joy,
retaliation.
and
look at
that's
this.
also why he's so good now, because he doesn't want it to unravel the way it unraveled for a Martell.
Mhm.
Because his infidelity, he's trying to keep everything in check now in his marriage, because he saw how bad it can unwind for him. To me, that thing, there's no way to me
Oh,
he wasn't cheating. He stepped out at least once back in the day or
Who?
currently.
more
Mark,
so.
so
Oh.
and that's
Mhm.
why in reference to your conversation about him and their marriage, yeah, he's trying to fix it and patch it up
I
the best
agree.
way he can, because he
I
knows it
agree
can
with that,
unravel for
Don.
him.
So do y'all
Don,
want, when we
I've
gonna get
been
off in a
saying
sec, we
that
got 5 more
they'll
minutes. Do
never
y'all
let her
think
off.
that Ariana would be good on the show?
No.
I'm
She
gonna see
would
if Sandy's still
definitely bring
echoing.
a
We
different
want
flavor.
her.
Melody, see, they need to move away from this conversation with Martell and Melody. Sorry, it's getting old. They're losing viewerships. So no, her time is come and gone. What is she gonna say? Yeah, I slept with him. Come on,
He
she
ate my
needs to
Well,
get off. It's
behind.
like
well,
Destiny.
they're not
What's the
together,
purpose?
so
What's your
no.
purpose on the show? It's called Love and Marriage, right? So what's the purpose? Is this gonna be another housewife shows, ex-girlfriends? Mm-mm.
Not to mention the fact that if you brought her on the show, you would have everybody coming after the stars because they know if they can get embroiled and involved with the star, they'll be on the show. So that's her ultimate game. That is why she's coming apart at the seams because she's mad that she wasn't picked up. So you
I
But
can't
the
bring
agree.
a
storyline is getting like a beaten horse to me. It's like, come on now. It's them moving away from the infidelity and moving into their new lives. So why is she coming on? I don't get it. The child may be able to come on, and maybe through that she can have scenes, but I don't see a
no,
storyline.
I don't even want him on either.
You don't
Hmm.
want the baby? Oh, wait a minute. Why the baby can't come on,
No,
Sandy?
look, you realize that baby is attached to his mother. Does
Mm-mm.
anybody think Ariane would be a credit to the show?
I don't.
No.
Mm-mm.
You hear her conversation? First of all, every other word is a curse word, okay? She tells things about herself, her private bedroom activities. She
Mhm.
doesn't have the sense enough to keep that to herself. How would you bring a person like that on a show?
I
Okay?
really think that she would hurt Martell more than anything because
Mm-hmm.
she's
Hmm.
mad they're not together. I think bringing
Yeah.
her on would
Hmm.
make his dirt come out even more. Now,
Right.
Joy, you have discredited this before. Somebody said they believe Martell probably has a learning disability. I said he might have
I
been
do
dyslexic.
too. I do too.
Do you not think?
First of
And it's
all,
not a learning disability
first of
where it's on a
all,
scale of 10. It's small, but it's enough to inhibit him enough that he like taking tests. He may need extra help or something, but it's not something major. But it's something small, and he knows it. That's why he's such a narcissist and trying to prove himself. If you look at him, he's textbook to me. Textbook. What the disability is, I don't know, but he has, whether it's emotional, social, or intellectual, I don't know, but he's there. He has classic to me symptoms. I mean, you can just see it.
What do you
He
think,
told
George, about your
Nina.
brother?
Oh,
And
Joy
then we
ain't
gonna have
gonna be
one last thing, everybody, and then we're gonna get
what was
off.
the
okay.
question? What was
Do
the
you think he
question?
has a
See,
learning
you
disability?
do like that.
I
I
It
can't.
doesn't
don't know
have to be learning. It
about
could. It's just something.
disability, but
Asperger's or
I know
something.
that I know for a fact that the elementary test um for teaching isn't easy.
Wait a minute. You keep using testing as his. I know people who got doctorates passing tests and having people pass for them who really aren't qualified. Just because he passed doesn't mean he does not have the disability. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not a disability where he is incapable. It's a disability that inhibits or slows him to me. He's still intelligent. See, testing may be on his intelligence, but he has some type of disability with the reading. That's why he couldn't pass the test. It could be concentration. It's something, and it's maybe small, not major.
I mean,
just because he passed the test doesn't mean he doesn't have it.
Oh, Lord. I think that some people have an acronym, just a natural acronym for like business, and they test very well. And other people have it in different areas. Like I said, he took the praxis test. That's what they take in the state of Alabama. The praxis test for that is not easy, is my point. So if he could pass that, you just have to understand the business acumen and the words. It's just totally different from education. So if he could pass that, is my point. If he could pass the education test, he could pass.
Was he up with Mel? I didn't know.
But
I turned everything off, y'all. Sorry.
He doesn't have a disability. Is what I'm saying. I don't
took
understand
it one
why
time.
you're bringing up the testing when we're talking about disability to me, because
because you're saying that he can't. There's something wrong with him because he can't pass the test. That's why I bring.
No, I didn't say that. I said he has classic symptoms to me of someone with a slight disability. The way he's always trying to overcompensate, the way he just carries himself, the way he's reading and talking, all of that. He could probably pass the test.
You seen him read?
Huh?
Well,
he can't read.
He can't read it. He can't speak.
Example, dyslexics can read. They're given the tools. They know how to read. It's not, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't mean he can't read. It just means he's dyslexic or something. So that's all I'm saying. It's just because he has a disability doesn't mean
he can't spell. And it's like he's so cocky that even on his own advertisements, he spells stuff wrong. But if you in a business, you should know how to past. You should know not to use PAST when it should be.
But if he has, yes, and you're right, and he had people help him all along the way, so he's not used to correcting it himself.
All right, y'all. So we about to go. Anything else? Sandy, you got something?
When you all coming back on again?
Tomorrow,
what y'all doing?
And what else?
Tomorrow I have the.
We're doing Atlanta and Married to Madison.
Thank you, Joy.
How about Tuesday?
No.
How about Tuesday?
Nothing.
How about what are you?
Thursday is Beverly Hills. Yes. All right, y'all. So anything else before we get off?
I enjoy you ladies as always. Dr. Joy.
Thank you, Dr. Leslie. It's been a minute.
On this other side soon.
Yes. Joy, you got anything?
No, that's it.
Sandy, Sandy, you got anything?
Was this something that was supposed to be next week? You said you wanted to say? You was like this, and then in the future or something. How you categorize this episode?
I talked about how Kimmy's the bone collector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sandy, you echoing with me. I don't know why.
Does she have?
I don't know why, but I did want. Before you get off, I wanted to talk about how Kimmy is supposed to be sick. Nobody has addressed that. Did y'all hear that?
It hasn't happened yet. We don't want to talk about it until it happens.
Oh, okay. Well,
the word is we don't know what's going on yet.
That she's seriously sick.
We can speculate, but we don't know. We saw a port on her breast. We feel like she shaved her head. She's doing all these like charity things for take care of the boobies and bless the boobies and all that. We don't know if it's her. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. It could just be a cause that they have. We don't know. We know it's probably something with cancer, with breasts, but we just don't know.
And he wants sex every day. Oh.
That's just a lot for somebody.
2 times a day.
thing.
Joy, when are we gonna do
I know.
Superside Salon? We can do
What do y'all do
Oh,
Tuesday? Tuesday, I have a day off. I normally have choir rehearsal, but I'm available this
we're not
Tuesday.
doing anything Tuesday. We're doing Monday and
Oh,
Thursday.
Monday, I have
we could
rehearsal with
do
the
it. We
choir.
could do it. It shouldn't be no
Yeah,
more
okay.
than like 30 minutes. Yeah, we could
30
just
minutes.
do it.
So Thursday, so let me
Yeah.
give you, and Tori might write it out. Monday, Atlanta and Married to Medicine. Thursday,
Oh,
Superside Salon and Beverly Hills. Y'all ready to piece it out?
Yeah.
You normally come on about
Yeah.
okay.
5:30ish, y'all. So just look for us, all right?
Yeah.
Peace.
Mhm.
Thank y'all for being
Okay.
with
Thank
us.
you. I
Okay.
had
Follow our link
fun.
tree.
Thank you.
All right.
It was fun.
Bye.